It's time for the 991 to get a midlife refresh, except rather than a nip and a tuck and a bit more power, this time it's got a whole new heart, and it's turbocharged. Both the Carrera and the Carrera S get 3-litre twin turbocharged engines, the smallest engine fitted to a 911 since the SC of old. Each car gets about 20 horsepower more, so the Carrera gets 365, the S 414. That's incremental, but it's the torque where it gets real, 44 and 45 pound-foot for each car respectively. That brings the totals up to 332 for the Carrera and 369 for the S, and all of that is available from 1,700 RPM all the way to 5,000. That's proper low-down usable torque, a big shift for the 911. You probably want to hear the numbers. Well, a base car with a PDK gearbox and a Sport Chrono package will get you from 0 to 62 in 4.2 seconds. The S will do that sprint in 3.9. That's pretty brisk. Top speeds are 183 and 191 respectively, and MPG-wise, the Carrera will do 38.2 and the S will get nearly 37 MPG. Now, a few people are worried about this new iteration 911, so here's me with an opinion. So not even Porsche's 911 can escape the lure of forced induction, and that has a few people worried because the joys of a naturally aspirated engine are many. Take this 911 Targa 4 GTS. It's a fantastic car. Its 3.8 litre 424 brake horsepower flat-six engine produces one of the finest howls ever to grace the road. It's Porsche's signature noise, so I can see why a few people are worried that it's going. But you shouldn't be, because I can think of at least 3 motors that make a fantastic noise with the turbo bolted onto the engine. The Merc C63 AMG, the BMW M4 and the Pagani Huayra, a legit hypercar. There are many more as well. There are plenty of benefits to turbocharging: better MPG, more torque. The engines attached to those turbochargers tend to be smaller, so there could even be a weight saving. And thanks to engineering, turbo lag is a thing of the past, so there's no danger of being shot off into the distance when you're mid-corner. All in all, things sound pretty positive. But there may be just one thing holding it back. The soul of the car. The 911 Turbo has always been its own frankly insane beast. Now, the new cars won't be quite as mad, we know this, but the joy of the more workaday 911s was the noise, instant response from the throttle and the feeling you get from the whole package. Will Porsche's latest provide the same thrills? I hope so, but I can see why some may be worried, especially when in-house legend Walter Roll went on the record saying this: "But no matter how good a turbo engine is, it can never have the pure response of a naturally aspirated engine. This is the reason I bought a Boxster Spider, because engines like this won't be made anymore." So that's what he thinks, or that's what he thought a while ago at an event with Australia's Wheels magazine. But Porsche being Porsche has probably worked pretty hard to make sure this thing sounds spectacular. You've got 2 gearbox options, a 7-speed manual or a PDK, both fantastic. And I have to say, the new look really works. There's new aero tweaks, there's lovely tweaks all over the car, and the rear deck has been modified to make sure its new heart can stay nice and cool under pressure. The interior has been fiddled with as well. There's a new infotainment system that promises to be all kinds of kick-ass. You can even spec a button on the steering wheel. When you press it, it engages Sport Plus for a limited time, so you can either overtake or show off to your mates. I'm guessing it's more the show off than the overtake, because it's got plenty of power to do that. Economy-wise, these things are pretty good. The Carrera manages over 38 mpg, while the S tops 36. That's very, very impressive. Yes, the naturally aspirated series production 911 is gone, but the turbos mean you get more power, more torque, more MPG, more everything, really. But it also means Porsche can keep up with its increasingly turbocharged rivals. We had a look at the new 911 in action last week, and it sounds great and is awesome. So here's a tape. just been announced that the new GT3, this one, was going to change gears for you with no manual option. I said that I'd find out whether the new car and gearbox combo offered the same engagement as the old setup when I drove it. Well, today's the day to find out. To ease any fears, at least this one's still got a silly wing. And here is said big, silly wing. It's overly large, overly flouncy, and just